Interracial. We need to talk.
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 Welcome back to another episode. We need to talk. Episode number 72. I'm your host, MR.KOA, alongside
Tallboy.
And I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying our consistency.
Yeah.
That would be the word of the rest of the word. The word for the rest of the year is consistency. Was our what, our fourth now in a row?
Yeah.
Fourth
in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying doing these again. Our hiatus was needed, but coming back has definitely been refreshing. Refreshing to do this from a different perspective. Back in our groove again. Seeing the amount of other podcasts that have popped up in the meantime while we've been on pause has also motivated us to be like, we do a really good job at what we do.
Yeah.
And I feel, one of the most frustrating things as a creative is, seeing, not even in the comparison, but like seeing certain people that half-ass things get recognition for things that they really shouldn't be getting recognized for.
Yeah.
Not to say you shouldn't, give credit to people who are trying things and doing things, but you can tell, especially when you know the quality of work that you put out and the effort you put into things for your viewers and for your following. And when you see people just kind of start things just half-ass just to do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating to watch when you're like, especially when you're not doing, your due diligence and putting out stuff that you should be doing at that level. So you can't even really say anything. You're kind of like, I don't like what I'm seeing, but I'm also not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So all right.
The biggest thing for us though was, unlike a lot of other people doing a podcast, we transitioned from a podcast to a TV show, and then we were kind of confined to working around that particular schedule. And it wouldn't have, if we really needed to, we could have done the TV show and the podcast at the same time, but we're both two very busy individuals with a lot of things going on. I think trying to manage both of those things at the same time would have made the podcast worse, if anything.
Yeah. So
that's why, all of our effort was going into the TV show. Quarantine happened. Now we're back doing the podcast, and, I like it. It feels like we went back in time in terms of doing everything ourselves. Because I think that's one of the big things that separates us from a lot of the newer people coming out. I know for a fact that there are people who they might edit their audio, but we edit the audio, we edit the actual video stuff, the promotion. Like, we literally do everything, and it's been like that since day one. Yeah. The only time it's never been like that was when we had a TV show. There wasn't really too much we had to do differently. But yeah, we'll just see how long people can keep it up.
Yeah.
That's a
long
big thing.
game, baby.
Yeah.
It's a long game. So today's topic, or one of the topics, we obviously go into numerous ones, but the question I posted came from a personal situation that was brought to my attention this week, which was more laughable than anything. There is, the line they say, niggas talk more than bitches these days.
Yeah.
It's a very true line. It's actually a very true line. And it's strange because, like, I don't know why men are so insecure about other men. Like, you would think that men with insecurities comes from women and like how women view them, or how women look at them, or if a woman thinks I'm attractive, or if a woman thinks I'm good enough. Like, you would think majority of insecurities come from that. You would assume so. But a lot of insecurities come from men comparing themselves to other men, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So it was brought to my attention numerous occasions that two separate people were talking about me in a curious and none of your goddamn business type of way.
That I know.
You know these guys.
Okay.
And it was strange because I made a post as well on Twitter that there's a stigma surrounding photographers in this city and in major cities pretty much, where it's now become popular for photographers, or it's now become popular for men to become photographers, in hopes to lure women or in hopes to get more women, or they think it's a popularity contest. Like it's become a fad, a trend to pick up a camera and become a photographer and shoot concerts and shoot sexy girls. Like it's become a thing, right? The problem with that, it's ruining the economy because the average customer or client for photography services doesn't actually know like the real technicals behind photography. Yeah, they're just like, I want to look nice. I want to be pretty. You know, you have a camera, so you could probably do it, right? Unless they're a professional model and you're someone that's in that space to really pick and choose and really fine tune what you're looking for in your photo. The average client is just kind of like, my boy has a camera. He says he's a photographer, so yeah, let's take some photos.
Yeah, let's hire him.
So it's been easy. There's a very easy entry to business for anyone to pick up a camera now to become a photographer and just get a client. Maybe not a lot of clients, but if you get a camera, you can get a client. That's just.
It's funny that you're saying this because years ago, when people wanted to make like music videos or movies and stuff like that, you couldn't get into it unless you were at a really high level. Yeah. And then when DSLRs were made, that disrupted the economy because now anyone could make those types of projects. Right. And then now we're saying how it's become so easy to get into it that the average person who doesn't necessarily have any creative talent, which sounds really harsh to say, but it's the average person who didn't ever think or display any of these things. They picked up a camera for a totally different reason, right? Which you can go back into.
The wrong reasons. Yeah. So because of this ease, anyone's picking up a camera, right? Now, with that has come a negative stigma because those types of people that are picking up a camera for the wrong reasons are also trying to use it as a tool for sex. Yeah. A tool for sex, a tool for, success with women, a tool to get into parties, a tool to get famous, whatever their reason is. The camera is not a tool for them for the art of it. It's a tool for them to get ahead in some way. Yeah. And that is where things become dangerous because, you're seeing these pop up left, right, and center of women accusing these men of, not even accusing, they're claiming and stating these actually happen of these men that are predators. They lure them to their house. We could do a studio shoot, a nude shoot, or sexy bikini shoot, and they're just trying to fuck these girls. But the girl is like, it's not the woman's responsibility to get a photographer that's not trying to fuck them. Yeah, like
that shouldn't even be anything on their mind. Yeah, it shouldn't be a given.
I'm just booking this guy. Like I shouldn't have to worry if he's gonna try and fuck me or not. Like he has a camera. From what I know, he's a photographer, so he told me. Yeah, it shouldn't have to cross their mind. Like, is he a creepy one though? Like, is he a like? But this now it happens. So with that being said, women are aware of this. But also men are aware of this. Yeah. Right? And the men are aware of this stigma. Now, in some way, I'm assuming, because I'm not part of that crowd of men, but I'm assuming the men that know about this stigma feel threatened in some way by photographers. In the sense that maybe if there's a girl that they're looking for, a girl that they like, they think if a girl's shooting with that guy, that he can get her now. Right? Or that's his in to get a girl that they might want. And they just assume that all photographers are fucking all their models, which is not true at all. And for the ones that are fucking their models, like that, like what men and women, I don't want to talk women though, but for what men don't understand is that for let's say the photographers that are fucking their models, right? For the ones that are fucking their models, we're assuming those are consensual sex, right?
I mean, you'd like to hope so.
You'd like to hope so.
Yeah, you'd like to hope so.
You'd have to hope so. But if we're just make things easy, let's say those are consensual sexual encounters. They're not fucking the photographer, or the woman's not fucking that photographer because he has a camera. Yeah. They like that guy.
They either like the guy, or they are fucking that guy because
of what he can do for them.
Of what he can do for them.
Sure.
You know, like there's already a photographer in my head that I think you and I are thinking the same person who I wouldn't be surprised if he slept with some of these women. But the thing is,
even like, let's just say that does exist.
Yeah.
Which it probably does.
Yeah.
That's the woman's choice.
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah.
If the woman is fucking the photographer for what he can do for her, that's her choice. She can do what the fuck she wants if that's her reasoning. If they're consensually having sex because they like each other or she likes him, that's also a woman's choice if she wants to have sex with him.
Yeah.
But it's not because he has a camera. He didn't get that girl, or men aren't getting these girls because they went and picked up a camera and now a girl wants them more. That's not how this works. So the problem is, these particular guys pillow talked to a girl that I know and basically said, yo, I saw you do the shoot with this guy. Like, are you fucking him?
Yeah.
And she was just like, what? Like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know how to approach this because I'm like, the audacity you have to have as a guy, not only is the girl not your girlfriend, but what would make you ask her if she's fucking someone you know just cuz? Like,
it's not just cuz. It's because they obviously want to sleep with this person too.
Right.
And they feel like if you or another man is sleeping with this woman, then she is now off limits. That's what it is. Like, it's... What did we talk about the other day? It's like the conquest thing,
conquest,
right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like there's a thing that most men deal with from a early age, and I think you grow out of this at a certain point. But every man has looked to the girl at some point and thought, if I'm smashing her,
then nobody.
Like no other man should be smashing.
That I know.
Right. Like. And I
like
know
territory.
Yeah, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's how a lot of dudes would think growing up, especially. And unfortunately, there's some dudes who think that way right now. Yeah. But as you get older, you just need to grow out of that type of shit. But you're seeing right now these guys haven't grown out of it.
But what's even crazier is that.
Wait, hold on. You want to just close the window?
Yeah, that rain is loud. Can you hear rain?
There's rain. There's a storm right now, guys.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear that in the back. Let me be quiet for 1 second. Can you guys hear that rain? That's some rain.
Look at it. It's crazy.
We're going to close the window real quick.
Yeah.
That's fucking rain. Hold on. We back. But the weird thing about it is that the guys that are asking this girl have actually slept with her. And I haven't.
Oh, they have?
Yes. So I'm like.
Also, yeah, so then even more.
So I'm like, they've already slept with her and I don't want to sleep with this girl.
Okay, so.
And I haven't. All I did was shoot her. She's a client of mine.
Yeah, so even more what it is.
What is this?
It definitely is still the whole entitled, like, ownership thing that I just spoke about. But it's also a threatening kind of thing. Do you, like, these men, you don't have to say who they are, but do you talk to them often?
No.
No? Have they ever been in a group chat with you?
No.
Okay, so then...
Like, it's not even like men that talk to them on the regular. They're actually, both of them, in fact, are clients of mine.
Okay, then yeah, they're just threatened.
I've shot for both of them.
Yeah, they're threatened. That's how I would interpret it. I mean, look, yeah, I won't attack their ego like that, but I think... I think it's just a case of them being threatened by you, bro. I think they know who you are and what you represent to a lot of women. And
what does that mean? Lower your mic a little bit so it's not covering your face.
Stop being stupid, bro. You know what that means.
Okay, so I won't talk about this too much longer, but I'm literally trying, like, this is what my cousin said. I told this to my cousin, and he's like, it's a good point he made. She's like, who did you fuck that they know about?
Say it again.
He said, who did you fuck that they know about? Because he's basically saying, like, for them to just boldly ask this girl that I shot in a photo, if they're like straight up, not like no walk into the convo, like just straight to it, like yeah, so it's good, blah blah. Okay, so did you fuck KOA? Like, I saw you did a shoot together. Like, to do that means assuming there must have been someone that I've worked with that I did fuck at some point that they know about for them to just jump to that assumption. That's his thesis. I have slept with a girl that I've done photos for before.
Yeah.
Some of them have been my girlfriends at the time. So like, yeah. But his theory is like, is there a girl that you have fucked that you've shot that they know about and now they feel ways? So now their mind's already there. Oh, he shot her? Fuck, it's the next one.
So
Like,
how do you feel? Like, do you think that could be it?
It could be. I don't know. Cause like now I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe they've been angry about something else, and then this was like, nah, not this one.
You know
like,
what? Yeah, like, look, it could very well be any of these options. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's as simple as mans are just intimidated. I think that's what it boils down to. And sometimes the simple answer is not the answer you want to hear.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's
weird.
That answer seems like very childish.
Yeah.
And at our age, you're like, no one's that childish. But it really is the case sometimes. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, this whole photographer smashing their clients thing, or smashing these women. Smashing such an aggressive word. I'm so sorry. But like, sleeping with these women.
Creasing.
Photographers sleeping with these women. It sets like a really, I think honestly, it sets like a really bad precedent. So the way I see it, right? If you're single, photographer, sleeping with things, it is what it is. If it's consensual,
of course,
right? Where I have an issue is guys who just do, like, personally, I've never been a fan of
nude photography,
nude or boudoir like style photography.
I'm the same. You won't see that on my page.
I've never been a fan.
I'll say, when I say, maybe you'll say the same thing. A fan of doing it or a fan of looking at it?
Doing it.
Okay, but you can look at it.
I can look at it. I can
100%
appreciate
exactly
the art behind it.
Right. You're just like,
and I understand that, like,
yes,
the best people at it put a lot of work into it.
Absolutely.
The reason
you're just saying you're not a fan of doing it.
Yeah, the reason Correct. I will never do it
yes.
is because I've just found that there are I think that's a dangerous field to walk into.
It's just because all the judgments and assumptions that come with it.
Yeah, look, even if I was single and I wasn't in a relationship, I still don't think that I would do it, just because I don't need the unnecessary conversations that come with that. I don't look like I'm not out here gonna act like I'm, one of the top tier guys in the city or whatever, but I know in comparison to some of these other photographers who are taking these shoots, who are doing it, I know that in my single life I was getting more women than these guys. So if a guy like me or you started doing those types of shoots, what do you think people are gonna say? What do you think people are gonna assume?
They're already assuming it. Everyone I'm shooting is clothed, bro.
I just don't. I just don't need it. Like, especially with all these stories coming out of photographers.
But that's the thing. So that just circles back to what we're saying. Like, if regular mans, regular horny fucking hounds, weren't picking up cameras and doing this shit, and unsuspecting clients not knowing the difference, were booking with them, then there wouldn't be such a stigma and negative cloud around that shit. Yeah. Because if actual professionals were doing boudoir and actual professionals were shooting regular clients, there would be the girls would be complaining, because they're just like, I got a professional experience. That was great. I love working with this guy. Yeah. It would be a positive thing. Girls would be like, yeah, I want to shoot naked with that guy. He's so nice. He's so calm. Made me comfortable. Like, but it's all these fucking niggas that are picking up cameras, act like dogs. Yeah. And they're like, yo, bro, I got this girl. I'm not sure if you saw the tweet that some girl tweeted me about, where the fuck is it? About the tweet I made regarding the stigma. This girl tweeted a screenshot of this guy. Did you see that when I retweeted it?
No. What did it say?
Bro, let me see if I can find this real quick. She tweeted at me a screenshot from a photographer, and I was just like, this guy's a sicko. That's all I could say, because I was like, Bro, what? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here. She goes, Exhibit A. The photographer. What are you doing after break? I'm reading the fucking weirdo dog voice.
Yeah.
What are you doing after break? Can I use you for a real shoot? She goes, yeah, sure. What did you have in mind? He goes, well, I like to laugh and eat. Maybe drinks in the movie.
What? Excuse me? What? The hell is he talking about here? Is he trying to pick her up?
What? Let me just start over real quick. Hold on a second. Photographer, okay? Messaging a female client. All right. What are you doing after break? Can I use you for a real shoot? Can I use you for a real shoot? She goes, yeah, sure. What did you have in mind? He goes, well, I like to laugh and eat. Maybe drinks in the movie. So as she goes, that's going to be the shoot? Sounds more like a date. He goes, LOL. I want both. I want both. But for the shoot, I want your face, hair, and body in front of my camera. I looked at some of your pics today and, yeah. And she left it unread. This is the reason. This is the reason.
Did she air the man out? Like, who it is?
She covered his name.
Covered his name? Damn.
This is the reason.
Man.
What is wrong with you guys, man?
And like, this is tough because... Hold on. How much time do we have left?
5 minutes.
Okay. Sorry. And this is tough because just 2 weeks ago, I saw Last Name Lord.
Yeah.
She was tweeting about how, you know, the shit going on in the industry and how, you know, I'm friends with a lot of female photographers in the industry.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing them tweet how they've said things like, I'm not comfortable around any man, like, doing this shit. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to hear as another man in the industry.
The female photographer is not comfortable around
like
men.
A lot of female photographers
shooting?
Yeah, a lot of female photographers in the city right now are not comfortable shooting with other male photographers.
Gotcha.
Because of all the shit that's been going on. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of guys who, you know, masquerade themselves as being normal and then at some point trying to coerce them into some sexual shit. So as another male photographer, I see this. We're not doing any of this fuck shit. It still targets you. But it still targets me because I'm like, man, I'm just catching these stray bullets here off of bullshit that these guys don't seem to understand is not okay. Like, the shit that just seems common sense to me, every day I'm more and more shocked that these mans are just displaying behavior that makes no sense. Yeah. You know, and this isn't to like try and make me seem or make you and I seem like we're angels or some shit, but
we're
it's
just fucking good human beings.
But it's like some of this makes no sense to me. It's like, how are you actually in 2020 trying to coerce women like this?
It doesn't matter what year it is for them.
And on top of that,
they don't care.
The reason I bring up 2020, the reason I say this is because
the year of the cancel.
Yeah, in any era, it's not okay to do any of the shit that these guys are doing. But I don't understand how these men, like, Exhibit A, right? I don't understand how you have the balls to say shit like this on a platform where you know people can screenshot and save that forever. So it's no longer, oh, it's her word against mine. Like, she's just making that up.
She just, like, post.
It's like, what are you talking about, you dummy? Like, what are you talking about?
There's just no awareness. There's no awareness.
Yeah.
So, like, that leads me... Fucking idiots, man. That leads me into our question for the week. When casually sleeping with somebody, is there any obligation to tell them who else you're sleeping with? And are names necessary? So, do you want to run through our own answers first to this, or do you want to go through some of these?
No, let's see what people are saying.
All right. Let me see what some people are saying.
I got
Yeah, you can read these ones. Go through.
Sid. She said, "Be open. Yes, I don't care for names, but do you want Corona and an STD?" Ellis the Menace, no names, and only tell if it becomes relevant. Example, y'all get more serious, or someone may be in danger because of STDs. There was someone I want to bring up. Oh, Rice, he said, obligated to tell who what. If it's casual, then what I do when we're apart is none of your business. The only reason anyone would ever need to know about... This guy loves his candy. After. Is this sour?
No.
Okay, good. The only reason anyone would ever need to know about any other sexual partners is if you test positive for an STD. Otherwise, it's mouth closed. I couldn't even imagine a scenario where it would come up in a conversation, especially if both parties were on the same page about it being casual. It seems like weird information to voluntarily divulge to a casual partner if they didn't even ask you. Furthermore, if they did ask, I'd probably interpret that as a red flag, which is big time point. But there was one I wanted to bring up. Yes, Just Heaven Lee. She said, some of you are out here talking about STDs like condoms are the be-all and end-all of protection. Like getting head or giving head doesn't spread that shit. Talking about they don't need to know what I'm doing unless there's an STD concern. And then, like, that face. Yeah. Do y'all ever wonder why there's a large percentage of STD cases in the past 10 years? Because a lot of these adults are scared to have that conversation. Casual doesn't mean we aren't to be respectful of each other. If someone isn't mature enough to talk on it, then that's a red flag, which is very interesting. We can talk about that. We got another one here. Hell yeah. Names aren't necessary, but for safety concerns, yes. If you feel the need to hide that info or avoid that conversation, you probably know the other person wouldn't be okay with it, in which case you're fucked up. Another person, the short answer is no, not unless they bring it up. And if they do, then it is what it is. So what do you think? Because we talked about this briefly.
Sorry, these skills are ready. They're hidden. 1 second. I think I'm a even like to this day, I've never asked a girl if she's sleeping with other guys. Like I've never actually asked any girl in my life, like, are you sleeping with other guys? I've never done it personally.
You know what?
Have you? I've never actually had it. Like I've never they've asked me many times.
We've had
like,
exactly.
Am I the only one? Like, and I have to have that tough conversation all the time after that tough conversation.
It's never been, or am I the only one? I've never asked a girl, are you sleeping with other men? Like, while we're together, but I've been asked once. Like while we're sleeping together, let's just keep it. I don't want to entertain other people.
Like you've been like a request. Like
yeah.
I like this just be us.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't, so we weren't in a relationship.
Just something she wanted.
But she was just saying, listen, like I feel more comfortable only sleeping with one person at a time for, health reasons.
Right.
Which I respected. Right.
Are you okay with that? Does it depend on the person?
Yeah, it literally depends on how much I like the girl. Like if I'll be totally honest, if the girl who's asking me this is not someone that...
You ain't just going to be asking any man that. You
Look,
can't just swing that request to any man.
Put it like this. Put it like this, yeah?
Because that means you have to at least... Like, for a guy to even entertain that request, he has to at least feel like you could end up together.
1,000%.
Because he's not sacrificing that just because you want that. Nah.
And that works in reverse.
Nah.
That works in the reverse. The only way I'm saying to a woman, like, anything close to let's only sleep with each other is if I'm going to date you. It's not.
But do you even still have the conversation? I've still never done it. Like I've when I'm ready, I'm just like, yo, you're mine, and that's it. I've never actually made the request like, yo.
So let me ask you this: when you're ready, you just say like, are you ready?
Yeah, when I'm ready, I'm just like, yo, this is it.
So before you say that, are you just under the assumption that she might be sleeping with other men?
So I'll say this much: I've learned I've learned through personal experience
Yeah.
that you don't actually know shit.
Yeah, I know you
Like,
don't. I know you will never know.
And that, but that's like I have to make sure that's clear. Like, I learned from experience. I don't actually know shit. I don't know whatever I thought I knew. I don't know fuck shit. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Because every man will say, yeah, I know not my girl's doing that. I know not the girl I'm talking to. I know, like, any man will feel that way. You want to hope that's the case. They tell you blah, blah, blah. Sure. So I would say because I'm aware that I don't know shit, but what I've been told and tried to be convinced of is that the girls that I'm talking to, even though I'm still sleeping with other girls, they have told me, they're like, well, you can do what you can do what you want to do, but I'm not trying to see anybody else. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, they outwardly tell me that.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes, but
like,
that means shit.
it means nothing.
It means nothing.
No,
so in your what you're telling me is
but they always make it like a. They always make like a. And the thing is, like, it's hard because I'm like, I want to give them credit because maybe they really mean that, right? There are ones that really mean that and actually aren't.
Shut up.
But like, we can't say there aren't though. Right?
I know
there are girls that actually like, yo, just if I'm talking to him, I'm not fucking nobody else.
No, 1,000%.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna say every girl that told me that is lying because that's not true. There, I, as much to my knowledge, there are a couple that I'm like, when they said that, they're really about that. But even me saying that, I still am like 99% sure. I'm still like, nothing is confirmed ever. It just isn't ever.
That's a high.
Ever.
That's a high percentage.
I'm saying for the couple, it's a high percentage because I know how they move specifically.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know, if there's a girl you're talking to, she said that to you, you're like,
Yeah. Okay.
you're like, I don't know you like that.
Okay. So
there's girls you're like, I know specifically
let me
how
chime
this
in.
girl
Let me chime
moves.
in. Like,
Yeah.
if it's a girl that I met, like, you know how hard it is to meet
yeah.
a brand new girl.
Off rip, I don't know shit about you. Nothing.
Dog, I had to go to Vancouver to I had to meet my girl in Vancouver. But in this city, it's incredibly hard to just meet a woman you have no ties with, no mutual friends, no one you barely know.
Yeah.
If you meet a girl like that, then I'm more likely to say to myself,
I don't believe her.
I don't believe her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it wouldn't be a mad I don't believe her.
No, it's just like, I just don't believe you.
It
But
would
it's
just
okay.
It would just be like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm not with you.
You don't have to lie to me. It's okay.
I don't have to lie to me, like, it is what it is.
Like,
But if you know how a certain girl moves,
Yeah.
you're more likely to say, okay, I've known her for this long. She doesn't seem like the type to do this.
it still doesn't seem like, we still don't know, but like, that's why I say 99% because I'm like, from all the knowledge and the facts I do know about this person, I can almost guarantee that they mean what they say. But there's still that room for error. There's a margin for error in any person that, like...
See, but this is a hilarious thing, though, right? Like, women will get that high percentage. Men will never get that high percentage. They won't. Like, the way we're sitting here saying,
so
look, the girls, 99% of the time, I'm going to take them at their word. But there's that 1% where I'm just like, look, they might be fucking... It will hurt me, but it is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. The guys, it's like at least 50%.
No faith.
There's no faith. Like, come on.
Like, none.
Am I being unrealistic here? Is that the truth?
But are you saying that there's no faith for the guys that are saying, yeah, you're the only one? Like, is that the weird?
Yes, because we're all in that 50%, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying guys aren't really like. I'm not gonna say. I can't even speak for all these because some guys are such fucking liars. I'm not saying that. I'm not a man that's like, yeah, you're the only one. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
Okay.
Right? So like,
I'm not that guy.
I'm not
that guy. You don't have to convince me, right? You don't have to convince me. It's okay. I'm not that guy.
I'm not the one.
Go on. So
that 50% doesn't apply to me because I'm not actually lying.
Okay.
Like there's mans that are actually like, we're talking about scenarios where if a man says you're the only girl I'm sleeping with,
yeah,
and the girl says you're the only guy I'm sleeping with, guys will believe girls more than
100%.
and the girl will believe a guy saying that. A guy can say to the girl, "You're the only one, baby," and she's like, oh, "Okay." Like,
you know what it is? I think what it comes down to is the women will, like in a heterosexual relationship, the women will follow the guy's lead and what they see. So it comes up. It's two things that'll happen, right?
Okay.
You have that conversation, and it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. You're not gonna do this. But the guy starts moving kind of like wassy.
yeah.
Then the girl looks at that and says, he's not serious, so I'll entertain.
I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah, I'll entertain this, but I'll take it seriously.
You're like girls rarely lead, and they're like, "I'm gonna do my own thing," and then it's usually they'll usually. In
my experience and what I have seen from most of my friends and girls,
they're usually about it, and then they go off after the guy starts acting out.
Exactly. They will say what they mean, and then they will follow the guy's lead, and they'll follow the guy's lead when they find out.
Right.
The moment they have an inkling that this guy, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, and they might not even.
They might even say anything.
Then there's two options. They'll either straight up tell you, like, look, I'm not about this. I'm out. They'll give you an ultimatum. It's like you either stop or we continue, or they won't say anything, and you just won't know like what the deal is at that point.
So, I have a theory.
Okay.
I think guys only tell women that they're the only one that they're fucking because in hopes to stop girls from potentially seeing anybody else. Not because
that's not even a groundbreaking theory. That's exactly what it is.
Like, not because they actually want to only sleep with that person.
That's exactly what it is.
They have zero intention of only sleeping with that girl, but they believe if they say this, that can lower their chances of losing that girl to next man.
Dude, what do we say?
But I'm saying, but when a girl says it, I wholeheartedly believe in most cases when a girl says that to a guy, it's because she's really feeling for him and she's not interested in other guys. She's genuinely like, you're the only person I'm sleeping with because I'm generally only interested in you. And if a guy's saying it back, he's like, you're the only person I'm sleeping with because I don't want you fucking other guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's the completely different reasons why they're saying these things. Like, it's completely different reasons.
Dude, like,
he's not saying that because he's like, I'm only into you, and like, no.
Fam, it goes back to exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's protection and the whole conquest.
Yeah.
Right? A single man who is at a certain point in his life, he wants to know that I have you locked in
a cage,
and I can still go around here and do other things. Mm-hmm. And if I know that I have you secure, that means I don't have to put as much mental aptitude towards this in trying to lock you in, and now I can put it somewhere else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I say this to you, if I'm one of these guys, right, and I say this to you, fully knowing
it's safe,
fully knowing that I'm gonna go out and try to do some shit, I'm fully saying it because I want you to only be looking at me. Mm. Meanwhile, I'm out here going off doing some fuck shit, and I'll just repeat that same process until I either get caught or it's too much for me to handle. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's what happens for the majority of guys for sure. And look, like back when I was single, like in my early 20s, I know for a fact that I definitely like slept with girls, and then they said, do you want this to be a exclusive thing? If they ever said exclusive thing, I always shut that shit down. I wouldn't run. No, I would just be like, because when you tell me you want something exclusive and this is like casual,
we might as well date.
We might as well just date.
If we're not going to date, then what am I doing?
And if I don't feel like that's the thing about a guy.
Guys, if you'll date her. You know for a fact you would date her.
And this is the problem. You know very quickly, and sometimes too quickly to the point where you say, "Fuck, I want to
save this.
I want to date her so bad. Save this one. Just not right now.
I need to string this out as long as I can. Let me give her just a little bit. Not too much feeling, because I know if I dive in, I'm gonna dive in all the way.
I want to date this girl, just not right now.
I don't want to dive in. Yo, I think one of the most difficult things for us, it's actually so fucked up.
What?
I think one of the most difficult things for us is is once we acknowledge that we really like someone, everything's downhill from that. Like, we almost get mad. Like, men almost get mad at ourselves when we actually like a girl, like, before we're ready.
Because there's like, so many like, things you have to like,
fuck, like I actually like this girl, so a whole onslaught of things are gonna fall from this. I can't
onslaught.
You know, right? Like I can't fuck around too wild. Like, once I've acknowledged that I like her like this, I can't keep fucking around.
It's the moment you know.
Once you know, you're like,
because if you know like, and you continue to do that shit, you're a sociopath.
You're crazy.
You're actually psycho.
Like, so you're like, fuck. I know I like her a lot. Okay. So, like, I have a countdown of at least a month and a half before, like, I have to start cutting off shit. Like, because you're like, I know that I like her a lot. I know she likes me a lot. If I stretch this too long, I may lose her. Because it'll look like I'm not interested when I am. Yeah. But it'll only look like I'm not interested because I'm trying to save, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to give her the wrong impression because I'm trying to protect myself. Not because that's how I really feel. And that might turn her off. Like, it's such a weird, like, battle because you're like, I actually care about this chick, but keeping her at a distance might make her think that I don't. Yeah. And then fuck me over anyways. So you're like, but if I show her that I really like her then I have to start making changes that I don't necessarily want to make.
You don't want to make yet.
So it's such a tough position. Unless you find a girl, or a woman, sorry, which is very rare, which I have very rare times found, who's like, I know you're fucking girls. I know you're still seeing somebody. I know we just met. I know when I met you, you weren't just talking to nobody. Like, girls that actually understand that, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna do my thing. You do your thing. I'm not really interested in anybody else. I'm interested in you. I know you're gonna do your thing anyways, but, you know, I'm not trying to stop you from doing anything you want to do right now. Like, when you get that freedom, it's actually worse because then now you want them more because you're like, fuck, like, she knows. So now it feels like you're doing what she expects you to do. Isn't that so weird now?
But the problem with that too is
now it's not your choice anymore.
It's not that it's not your choice, but the problem is when you do end up, you're like, fuck it, I actually really want this person, I'm gonna lock in with them. Yeah. And then while you're locked in with them, you will have moments where you're like,
I should have took more time.
And she's gonna look, and she won't say anything, but she'll just look at you like,
I gave you the choice.
She'll just look at you like, and what it's saying is you had the time.
You had the time.
I gave you the choice.
You jumped. And now
you're playing Jedi mind tricks on you.
Yeah, like, you jumped early and you now regret it. Because you're an idiot. So, back to the question, sorry. Are you a names person? Do you want to know names? Do you not want to know names? Is it more as long as I don't know them?
No, so here's the problem, all right? I never ask for names, and someone asks me for names. If we're single and it's very casual, it's a problem. But
have you ever given names before? Has someone actually got a name out of you?
Like in what scenario? Like
a girl you're talking to, like
no.
Like she's like, oh, have you slept with this girl before?
No.
And you're like, yeah.
No. I've talked to like my girlfriends.
No, but like a girl you're talking to been like, found, like in her mind, like, here's like came across a sexy girl and they've been like, you're slept with this girl?
No, it's never happened. Okay. But see, this is the problem, right, with the questions. A lot of people who are answering this question were answering it from the perspective of dealing with someone that they have absolutely no mutual friends with or nothing like that. Right. So even though I still am the type of person where I will not tell names or anything like that, living in this city, I've just come to realize how incestuous this place is. Like, chances are I have fucked
incestuous.
Yeah, like chances are I have slept with someone who is like 2 persons removed from someone that I've also slept with, or some shit like that. And what makes this a problem is it's really hard to meet someone now in this city. And it all depends on like what you do, but it's like really hard to meet someone who doesn't have other people watching that you also know. So my problem is I'm at a point now where I wouldn't even sleep with someone if I knew that there's a chance that they'd be asking for names. Right? So I give an example. Like, if I was single, I'm still doing my freelance thing and I still work in the fitness industry, right? Let's say I sleep with someone, I'm sleeping around with someone in the fitness industry.
Right.
Based on the way like human nature works and what we do, we most of the time you form connections with people where in the workplace, people you see very often. It's because it's just way easier to do that. It's your environment.
Yeah.
So if I end up sleeping with a girl who's in the fitness industry, chances are I'm probably either already talking to other girls who are in the fitness industry,
right,
or I'm sleeping with other girls in the fitness industry. Word gets around quick, someone's gonna start asking names.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where the problems come in. So I'm not saying that I would say names, but I already know, given my environment, that it's not a good environment to be sleeping around in.
Right.
If I want to sleep around, I would probably like figure out some other environment like outside of mine.
Yeah.
But that's where people fuck up. They sleep around in their own
home.
In their own home. They
Yeah.
shit in their own bed. They shit where they eat,
Yeah.
and that's what causes problems.
Yep. Mess.
Can't do that. I've done that, and I've felt the repercussions. It's messy.
Just mess.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So no, don't ask me for names. Don't ask for none of that shit. But I know you can mitigate those whole things by just not even entertaining people in your environment.
Yeah.
Because if you entertain someone in your environment, you should. Chances are, you might want to date them.
Why do you say that?
Because
because they get you.
It's not just that they get you, but these are people. This is someone that you see on the regular. Like this is someone that was around you all the time before
Like
this.
you'll start really liking them.
And if you really like them, that's when you should start dating them, especially if they're in your environment.
Yeah, that's true.
It's easier to kind of play the longer game if that person is outside of it. You know what I mean?
You're not forced contact.
That time when you're like, fuck, I realized I like them. Now I have a month and a half.
Yeah.
That's easier to do when they're not in your environment.
That's true.
When they're in your environment,
it accelerates things.
It's way harder because now everyone's watching.
Inflammatory. Like it just accelerates everything.
Cut that time in half.
Yeah.
Like that's
you're
what it
dating
is.
in 2 weeks. You're like, how?
Like what?
Yo, you're in a relationship and you're like, how did I get in this? How?
Dude,
how did I get here?
I fell into a relationship for 3 years, bro. I fell into it for 3 years. Off of Tinder. That's how it happened.
Bro, the worst part is when you fall into a relationship and you're like, it's usually after you have this pep talk with yourself where you're like, all right, you know what? I like this girl, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna give myself some more time. And right after you tell yourself that pep talk, you're in a relationship less than 2 weeks after. And you're like, yo, what did you just say? You don't even believe yourself. I can't even trust me. Like, what? I just said I'm gonna wait. And now I'm meeting her parents. What? Like,
now I'm eating this fucking salad with her mom. Like, what?
How am I here? Oh my god. So, we came across a well, last week actually. Last week we were talking about interracial relationships and the stigma behind women, black women specifically, frowning upon or insulting or making fun of or being disgusted of black men that are with white women. So there's clearly we're going through a race war per se right now, because we always have been, but it's more prevalent now because there's more awareness to it and COVID and all this stuff happening and the protests and whatnot. So there's somewhat of a divide between races, obviously the blacks and the whites, whatever, and where it puts people in interracial relationships in not a predicament, but in a conversation that they you have to address it.
Yeah, of
like
course.
it's if you're currently in an interracial relationship with a black person and you're a white person, this era you are forced to have a conversation either with that partner directly or with their family. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot just pretend and go on like nothing is happening around you guys. Like, like you're not in something that is very, you know, high strung right now. The issue comes with the sheer ignorance and negative perspective that just come directly towards black men that find love with white women. Typically that direction rather than in reverse, because we don't get as much, you know, pushback from black women with white men.
It's not even just it's not even just love though. It's not even just like finding love. It's just fucking. Just black guys who fuck white girls. It's like there's this crazy stigma around it. So it's interesting because I'm like, we've heard the phrase, or maybe you haven't heard the phrase, but there's a phrase that they say black people can't be racist, right? Do you believe that? Yo, it's weird that you brought this up because I just talked about this the other day, but my answer is no, I don't believe that.
You do not believe that black people can't be racist. So you believe black people can be racist, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
And can I give you an example as to how? So like, I think black people can. It's kind of ridiculous.
It sounds silly even to have the conversation.
I know, but I think black people can only be racist if it's a sustained period of hate over time. So I'll give you an example, right? I think racism and prejudice, there's almost like a fine line between the two, but there's a very key element of racism that, you know, separates the two. Now, if you knew me for like the last 10 years, right? And from the day you met me, I always said, I fucking hate white people. I fucking hate these crackers, like, so much. Like, any chance I got,
just very outwardly
to let you know that I hated white people,
you needed to say it.
I needed to say it. It was so, like, my hate for white people was so bad that I can't hold down a job. Yeah. Because I'm working with white people all the time. At a certain point, you're gonna look at me and say to yourself, yo, this nigga really hates white people. Like, he might be racist to white people. Yeah. To the point where you might even say to yourself, yo, I'm having this party and like one of my white boys is gonna be there. I don't know if I can invite Z.
I can't invite this guy.
I don't know if I can invite him because like
he'll cause something.
Yeah. Right? So it's not that, because people think like when we talk about racism, it's solely based on the oppression in the systems, right? Which, look, a large part of it is.
Definitely.
Right? So when we say black people can't be racist, that's what we're really talking about.
Like we can't just flip history and oppress white people or oppress any other race.
Like what happened to Nick Cannon, right? Like Nick Cannon said the stuff about Jewish people. Like he said some anti-Semitic stuff. At least that's how it was taken to these people, and immediately job gone, right? But that's systemic racism at work, because when racist things or prejudice things are said against black people,
nothing.
People aren't losing their jobs right away. I mean, maybe in the last 2 years because of
it's strong.
cancel culture and like people being.
It was like a quick apology, sometimes if that.
Yeah, and then you just move on, right? So I think, you know, it's just based on sustained hate, right? And I've met some people in my life, black people in my life, whether it's family members, extended family members, or, you know, people from an older generation, where they've said some shit about white people and other races where I'm like, damn, like, that's pretty, that's
off.
that's like very off. You know what I mean? Like that, and then my head doesn't register those things as prejudice. The first thing my head says,
like, you don't like that race.
Yeah, my head's like, yo, that's a little racist. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think anyone can be racist, but it's very clear who benefits from racism, right? But
yeah, the reason I asked that is because we've both seen, you know, recently, there's been content or videos or tweets or memes pertaining to, you know, the negative cloud that surrounds black people having any type of relationship with white people, especially during this time. And it's interesting because you know, we try to push for this inclusiveness, and we try to push for change. We're pushing for white people to understand us. And I would say, you know, 95% of black people, at least in North America, have at least 5 white friends, or white, like at least 5. Not just like I have one white friend, like at least 5. Whether it's a friend through friendship, whether it's a friend through now it's your work friend, like we're in contact with white all the time. Like stop it, right? So not all of them are having sex with white people, not all of them are dating white people, but we have contact with them, and I'm sure a lot of us can say there's a lot of white friends that we have that are great people. So this negative cloud that now surrounds black men dating white girls or having sex with white girls, and, you know, saying that they're, you know, because they do that they hate black women, it's a silly conversation. I think it's a very silly conversation, because like being with a white, like I'm not dating a white girl, but I've had sex with a white girl before, white girls before, and I've also had sex with black girls before. Me having sex with a white girl does not mean now I hate black women. It's just silly. But it's become like a conditioned belief by a lot of black women that if a black guy's with a white girl, it's because he doesn't like black girls. Oh, he must hate black girls. He must hate his own girl. He must hate his own kind, or ill. Like even like the disgust of it that comes, like, oh my god, he's bringing up ill. Like what is this ignorant disgust and anger and perspective towards black men that want to explore other races, which they're very well allowed to do, that makes black women so angry? I don't like.
I mean, look, I think first off, I personally think that this is one of those things, talking to my boy, where you just gotta charge it to the game. It's like, you know, I know that this conversation, especially me being a black man who's been with a white woman, it's something that I'll never be able to. I don't think I'll be able to ever get my point across.
Like people just don't care.
That's how I feel based on how I see people talk about it, and it hurts even more when it's like people you know, like, and you're cool with. You know what I mean? So it's like when you see them, you're like, oh, okay, like it is what it is, and you see how they talk outside of it, and you're like, okay, this puts me in like a weird spot with you, kind of thing. But I think a lot of it comes from the fact that, you know, there have been black men, and a lot over the years, who say some openly say some wild shit about black women, right? So obviously that's part of where the hate,
where it's stemming from,
and frustration comes from. And unfortunately, you know, guys like me and, you know, some of my friends, we indirectly fall into
the guys that are saying that shit,
into the guys that are saying that thing, because I guess our actions show that we must feel that same way, right? Even though what's crazy to me is, you know, you can see, like, I'm all for people just finding love in whatever capacity that looks like, right? Where it becomes weird for me is, okay, it's clear to me how people feel about certain interracial relationships, right? Black men, white women. But it seems like people are more okay with same race relationships, even if the relationship is shitty.
As long as the race is the same.
As long as the race is the same, sure, the relationship is shitty, but whatever. But God forbid this person's in an interracial relationship,
and it's great, where
they're happy and no one's causing problems. Fuck these people. That's because that's what it is. And I don't even want to. I'm not gonna say names, but perfect example, right? Is, you know, you had someone who got in shit on social media, right, for basically saying some wild shit about black women back in the day, right? But of course, people over time change and get better as human beings, right? As you expect. So I wasn't for a lot of the hate that this person was getting, because based on who I know him to be and who he's grown to be, it's like, okay, like, he's grown. That was some wild shit, but he's grown. Like, it is what it is. But what's wild to me is some people who are in interracial relationships, I promise you, you could never go on my shit, my social media, any of them, and ever find me talking spicy about black women. Right. You never will. Yeah. Like, it, because to me, I'm sorry, that actually sounds insane. Like, that actually seems so crazy to me that someone who is black, like a black man, would openly shit on black women. Because the first person I think of when I think of a black woman is my mom, right? That's the first person I think of. Like, and yes, you hate your mom? What? Yeah, and like, yes, not all of us have had super great relationships with our parents, specifically our moms, right? But at no point can I, in good conscience, say some wild shit about black women without thinking of my mom first and foremost, right? She's the strongest black woman that I know, so it's like, if I disrespect black women, I'm directly disrespecting her. So you can't find any of that shit. But because I've dated outside of my race, none of that shit matters. So because none of that shit matters, automatically in my head, I'm just like, okay, this is a conversation that I'm not going to be able to have. Because people don't want to understand nuance. They want to understand a lot of things. So then in my head, I start thinking to myself, okay, look, I understand where a lot of the frustration and the hate comes from. It sucks to, hear people say these things knowing that you're in an interracial relationship. But like I say, you're just going to charge it to the game. But what becomes really frustrating is, let's say I said to myself prior to my relationship now, let's say I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to wait until I find love with the right person. Hopefully it's a black woman, right? I can do that and that'd be totally fine. But who's to say that I wouldn't be waiting forever? Yeah. You know what I mean? Who's to say that I would be basically what I hear when people say these things about interracial relationships, what I'm hearing is you want to deny certain people love. That's what you're telling me. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a weird.
They basically need to love the way you want them to love.
Yeah,
I need you to love how I want to see love with you.
Yeah,
I need to see it how I want how it should look to me.
Yeah.
What?
It does not matter.
It's none of your. It's actually none of your business.
I know.
The fact that even the conversation is actually ridiculous. But I wanted to have, because obviously we were talking about previously, but it's actually none of your fucking business who someone falls in love with. And the majority of people saying these statements and insulting black men and are usually single and don't have a man.
Yeah.
A lot, most people in relationships, in successful, happy relationships, aren't giving a fuck who the fuck black people are dating. They're in their own relationship and they're happy.
They're minding their own business.
There's rarely, I don't know if there's a study, but I don't know how many happy couples are happy in their relationship, whether it's same race or interracial. I don't know how many couples are happy with their partner, then see a black man or a black woman with someone out of their race and talk about that in their relationship. It's single people doing this shit. It's single people who can't find their own love that are shitting on people who found love in any capacity. Who in relationships are sitting there in, serious question, who do you think in a relationship, in a happy relationship with their partner, traveling the world, having babies, fucking like rabbits, enjoying their life, is seeing another person in a relationship having fun, doing the same thing they're doing, however the fuck it looks, but still being yeah, I know they're happy like us, but she's white.
I still think it's so. I still think it would happen, bro. I think it's.
You still think there's
yes. I still think it's those same people who are adamant on talking this shit.
So you think both the partners are talking about it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
They'll probably find another partner who feels the same way. You're just yo, Let's combine our hate together. This is lovely.
This is lovely.
You know what I mean? Look, like,
Yeah,
like I said, this is something where I just know you got to charge it to the game, because I think what some people think is that their man's getting into interracial relationships and it's like Get Out. Or they're not thinking before they get into this relationship, what are some of the things that come with this? You know what I mean? Any sensible human being, any sensible black man knows that if he, and you know what, even this sucks to say, but as a black man, if you've ever liked someone of a different race, fallen in love, maybe sometimes even slept with someone of a different race, but those first two especially, there's a part of your brain that literally says to yourself, like, okay, what?
Explain this to my friends.
Not just that, but it's like, what am I gonna have to deal with?
Like,
if this
like
turns into a relationship, like, what are the things what am I prepared to deal with? Am I prepared to possibly deal with, you know, family members that have limited interaction with black people, right? So now,
like, you might be the only person bringing a white person into your family now.
Vice versa, exactly, right? So,
or she
bring over there. So, I mean, these are things that I've thought of, you know, and I've weighed the pros and cons and try to see where it's worked out. But what it often boils down to is the fact that these people typically actually have strong feelings for the person of a different race,
right?
And those same people who have these strong feelings understand that if they encounter a situation that is too much for them, they'll leave. Like, they'll leave and it'll be what it is. But I just think like you said, it's a ridiculous conversation to have, because it's always coming from some place of frustration or hate that you can't relate to.
Yep.
I can't relate to the frustration and the hate that you have regarding this, because part of me thinks to myself as well, it's okay, you're upset that I or someone else is dating someone of a different race. Why are you upset? Like, did you want to date me? Yeah. Is that what it is? Because I don't think it is. I don't think that's the case. So then what is it?
Like, did me being with someone else take away from us? Like, are you mad because it should have been us?
And
because I don't think that's
no,
like,
but most of the time,
maybe it is.
But literally most of the time, the women who I've seen saying these things,
they don't even want you.
Yeah, like, I don't even think these are the type of women that would want me in the first place.
What is it?
So I'm like, where is this coming? Like, why do you have?
Who do you want me to be with? Is there someone that you're like, you have for me that?
Like, I truly feel like people in some instances would much rather be happier seeing a black man with a black woman, and if the relationship's shit and people don't know that, it's cool. But
as long as it looks nice,
that's it. But people need to be happy in a relationship. Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel that way.
I feel like there's this weird belief that they think black men aren't giving black women a chance.
Yeah.
I think that's where it stems from as well. And there's some parallel, I guess, to the topic we're talking about, photographers, you know, becoming photographers for the wrong reasons. I think there's some parallel there, because there are black men and white women dating black guys and black guys dating black women for the wrong reasons as well.
Of course.
For mixed babies,
1000%.
Fetishizing.
Yeah.
You know, I want mixed kids. I want, you know, I like lighter skin. Like, it's just
that's a red flag. Like, that's a giant red flag.
But I'm saying, I think it's the same type of parallel where it's like, you know, the same way photographers are picking up a camera for the wrong reasons, that it's creating this ripple effect of like,
so you know what? Like,
you get what I'm saying?
This is another potential reasoning as to why there's so much pushback on it, right? I also think that a lot of the black women and black men but mainly black women who have an issue with interracial relationships, specifically black men dating white women, is because I do think that it comes from a place of caring for the black man in a way where it's like, I literally just want what's best for you. And in their mind, it's like, okay, there's only certain things culturally you'll be able to understand and talk about with a black person. I wish I could name other things, but you get what I'm saying? It's like they know that the chances
like the growth of the black man.
Yeah, there's the chances of me getting hurt by a white woman or someone of a different race is much higher than it is with a black woman in terms of the type of hurt. You get what I'm saying? So I think it does come from a place of care, but it's just sometimes
the anger is care then.
Yeah, I just think
for the most part, not always.
I just think that sometimes the anger it loses sight of what it's actually trying to be sometimes. Sometimes I think, like, I've met women who've actually said, like, I just think, there should be same race couples, whatever, because there's only certain things that your culture will be able to understand, blah, 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 right? And then there's the flip side to it where people are just like, no, fuck that. Like, if you date someone outside your race, like, you're coon. Like, you're all these types of things. And that's where I have an issue, right? So I don't know. Like, I really don't know what the answer to it is, or if there even is one. I don't think there is. I just kind of think it's gonna be like an ongoing thing.
Even more so now.
Yeah, because I don't know. You might feel differently, but so in my eyes, I have interracial couple. They have kids. Based on the way society sees the world, those kids are black.
Yeah.
I don't care what you try to spin. Yes, I understand there is definitely such a thing as white passing and all this shit, but society has shown us that those kids are black. And yeah, there's a whole host of struggles and new challenges that comes with things like that. But I just don't think people really see it that way. They think that, and it's on both sides. Like, white people and black people who are for same race relationships think that when you have interracial relationships, it's diluting the whole thing, right? And unfortunately, I kind of proved that because I said when that happens and they have kids, those kids are black. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
like, have you ever, like, in your time, because I know you've, like, slept with a woman before, you've been in a relationship, but it's like, have you ever dealt with a conversation like this?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No.
You never had people say shit to you like that?
Mm-mm.
Do you think people have ever said anything behind your back?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm sure. The conversation I have had, actually, is the mixed girl conversation. I have a track record of dating mixed girls.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. Not like I've dated every type of girl, but majority of my girls that I've dated have been mixed girls.
I'm sure that's the problem too for some black women.
100%.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, but they're half black, so okay, they're not completely white. Like, so the conversation isn't as.
But that's funny how people pick and choose now. Exactly. You know what I mean?
It's weird. But I definitely have had the conversation where, like, different friends of mine or different girls or people I've known have been like, why are you so into mixed girls? Like, how come you don't really talk to dark skin girls that much? Like, because I have, they can't say never because I have.
Yeah.
But they're always like, why is it so many mixed girls? Like, why not? Like, I've had those conversations. I'm just like, do you think I'm just like choosing mixed girls? Like,
but you know what? Like, even if you, even if you were, who the fuck cares? Like, why does that matter to you?
Yeah, but but it goes back to what we were saying. It's like they're viewing choosing mixed girls as my girlfriends over choosing a dark skin girl as my girlfriend as a reasoning of because they're mixed girls, which is false.
Stupid,
like,
bro.
I've dated a dark skin girl, I've dated mixed girls, I've dated a white girl before, I've dated an Asian girl. I've actually dated almost every race.
Yeah.
So at no point has it been a conscious thought of mine that I'm not going to date this dark-skinned one that I really like because she's dark-skinned.
Yeah.
Because if I really like her, I've dated her, and I do. I think the only difference between you and I is that you just haven't met a dark-skinned girl that you really like that you date. It's not because you don't like her. It's just...
It's literally...
I just haven't met a dark-skinned girl that I really like.
It's literally been timing, play. That's literally all it's been. So then... But then my problem is this, right? Imagine I...
But you're not trying.
No, but imagine I said... No, imagine I did. Imagine I really try... I went out of my way. I'm like, I need to find me a dark-skinned woman, blah, blah, blah. Does no one not think that would be kind of sick? Like, it would get to a point where...
targeting.
Yeah, like,
I need
I'm actively...
I need it.
Only trying to do... I think that'd be kind of weird.
I don't know. I don't think it'd be weird.
What, because I'm black?
No, I don't think it'd be weird because that would just mean you're subconsciously and maybe consciously seeking something that makes sense to you and that's comfortable for you. But
how is that any different than a man literally just like if the same way they have an issue with, let's say I was only doing that with Asian girls.
Yeah.
That'd be a problem.
The reason I specifically said was you're seeking something that is comfortable for you and makes sense to you based on how you've been raised. Like you're searching for something that genetically and culturally makes sense.
Yeah, like I said,
like you dating Asian, that doesn't genetically and culturally.
But it's like I said though, it's because I'm black. That's okay for me to do that.
Anything's okay for you to do, but I'm saying that would be that wouldn't be viewed as weird because you're essentially trying to, like, a relationship is a partnership with your family, with your values, like all there's so many aspects that come in relationships. So that wouldn't be that weird because you're like your thought process may be like, for me to be in something very successful with the least amount of resistance for my family, my future kids, our families to mesh, would be with a black family and a black woman, because I know at least from the bare minimum we both get it. You know, at the bare, she may not have the same values as me, may have a different religion, whatever, but at the bare minimum, she gets the oppression that we have just systemically. She understands, you know, who I am as a black man and what comes with and the heartaches and stuff. Like, so you may be doing that as from a place of ease of resistance, least resistance. Yeah. So that's not weird because you're like, I'm actively seeking a black person because I want this relationship to be easier for me to get into. Other races, it's like the reasoning isn't that. It has to be something else. Like,
no, but see, that's where I rebuttal, because okay, if you're a guy, a black man who is trying to get into another relationship with a different woman of a different race for a specific reason, then yes, that's when it is weird for sure. Yeah. But the problem is there are mans like me and like plenty of mans out there in the world who literally just get into relationships with people solely because of
feeling,
literally how that person makes them feel. Yeah. That's it.
No, of course.
And it's like,
but I think what I get what you're saying. I think based on how this conversation is progressing, I think that anger comes from the ignorance of existence of other situations that come with it. Just because you're not consciously entering that relationship for any other reasons doesn't mean other things don't exist around. But I think that might be the. But
still, my rebuttal is literally what I said earlier, though. Yeah. Like, to believe that means that the men who are entering these interracial relationships aren't thinking about any of the other things that come with being an interracial relationship. So, like,
but sometimes they're not. I mean, because based on what you're saying, sometimes for the baseline of it, you're saying, I'm only going in this based on how I feel.
No, I think you should.
Then negates the point of you think about everything else.
I think no. I think you should go into every relationship, even if it's of the same race, literally based on how this person makes. That should be the bare minimum. It shouldn't be the color of a person's skin, because the person could be the same color as you, and still not be good for you. They could be shit. Yeah. Like, and we know this. Yeah. We know this to be true. We've seen it with our parents and everything like that. So for me, it's like, I was literally always taught by my mom. Like, this is coming from a black woman. She literally said, like, I remember her saying to me when I was younger, and even as recent as like 2 years ago, she's like, yeah, like I would love for you to be with a black woman, but what I would love more is for you to actually be with someone that
makes you happy,
that like respects you and like loves you. That's what she's like, that's what I want, because she's seen it. Like, she's seen it. I listened to my mom, like I said, strongest black woman I know, and I've like listened to my aunts and like listened to things that they say. And the thing that they just preached to me the most was making sure that you find someone that actually loves you for who you are, regardless of what they look like, right? Because too many times we've seen, regardless of race, not just black people, white people, and all these races, where people get into relationships and it doesn't matter if you're the same race, it could still be shit. So yeah, like I can say confidently that even being in an interracial relationship right now, that if I was dating a black woman, I'm sure, and it meshed well, I'm sure it would make things easy in terms of like bringing families together and all that type of shit. I'm sure it would. But if I don't actually, I hate using the word vibe with someone, if I don't make you feel good and you don't make me feel good, that's automatically like the barrier to entry for me. And I understand for a lot of people that's not the case, right? It's just I can't get past that.
Right.
Like, I really can't. Like, and I have been turned off by people who are of different races, because immediately they say some whack shit. Like, I think we all have, but I just kind of feel like that has to be the ticket to entry, like how this person makes you feel.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the baseline, like, to any relationship, friendship, not even just girlfriend, boyfriend, like any relationship, like you become friends with someone, you connect with someone because you're like, yo, I feel good around this person. Yeah. So I want to keep doing things with this person. Like, it's not like I feel good because you're black. Yeah. It's just the initial spark of anything is like, this person's funny, they're this, they're kind, whatever. Like, I feel good around this person. Yeah. Then you start like, okay, noticing like how attracted am I to them. Yeah. You know, how do they dress, where they're about, like all that stuff's after. Initial spark is like, I just fucking like being with this person. Yeah. I could be blind. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is like the initial spark. Yeah. You know? So the additional things come with like, really and truly, the additional things come with external pressures, really. That's when things start to, like, it's everything external after that. And it's kind of like, fuck, I like this person, I fell for this person. Now, how do I make this work? Like now you're like, fuck, like, okay. Yeah. If I'm really going to take this seriously, though, now I got to do it left, right, mom, dad, friends, that, like, if we didn't give a fuck about any of that stuff, you just, more people be in relationships that, that's like uglier people, like, not even being rude, but like, people would definitely be in relationships with uglier people. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Because there's definitely, no, not settling. I mean, like, there's definitely people that fell for people that aren't as attractive, but they're like, she's not that attractive though. So like, you know what I mean? But they connect like crazy, but they're like, but I know, but everyone's gonna be like, she's not that pretty, or he's not that cute. Like, and then they sabotage it, you know? Not because of how they feel, but because of what everyone's gonna think. Yeah. You know for a fact, like, and there's some people who don't give a fuck, because you've seen relationships where it's like, that girl's gorgeous and her man's like regular. Yeah. And you're like, how is that? In your mind, you're like, how do you get? But that thought itself is like, they went based on how they felt, and that's all that mattered to them. Yeah. And it's you being like, yo, how'd that sweet girl get like with that regular guy? Like, they're fucking happy. Yeah. Clearly, like, because it can't be anything else. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe money, whatever. You can make her assumptions, but at the end of the day, like, if you see that pretty ass girl or that sexy ass guy like happy with like a regular looking chick, you're like, most girls are like, how is she, like, because they're happy and they don't give a fuck about you. Like, those are real couples that don't give a fuck about socials, people's opinions. Like, yeah, I got a sexy ass girl and I'm fucking regular. Yeah, and you know, just like any other couple, they still deal with
bullshit that comes up, but they deal with it and
Yeah.
just try to move on, you know. And I think, to be honest with you, the thing that, like, this is my first time like dating a white person, right? And what I've come to realize is, based on like how I grew up and like when I went to school and all this shit, I was always one of the few black people based on my surroundings. So it basically gave me an enhanced lesson on what it meant to be black in today's society, because my blackness was always being challenged by someone, you know, whether it was teachers or the workplace or other women or some shit. I was always thinking about what my blackness meant
What it looks like to other people.
and what it looks like to other people. So then obviously it just made me learn more about who I am, my history, all this type of shit. And, you know, like when people talk about things like black love and all that, I'm 100% positive that when you have black love and it meshes well, it's definitely amazing, you know? And at some point, like, I don't know if I'll ever, so I don't know if my camera just turned off.
Is the camera or the cat?
Oh no.
Is it the cat scratching?
No, it's not the cat scratching, but
What was it?
I thought it was like a temperature warning on my camera.
Oh, it's high?
Yeah, but it's fine.
Still recording though?
Yeah, still recording. Yeah, like, I understand black love is amazing, especially when it meshes well. And even though I haven't experienced it, I can obviously see why it's beneficial to a relationship like that. But people are neglecting to understand that being in an interracial relationship teaches you certain things as well that you might not get.
Where you're forced to experience.
Yeah, because I'm forced to experience and understand certain things that people in other relationships might not. And for some people, that is definitely a negative, right? I can see why that would be a negative.
Yeah.
For me, I've been able to look at a lot of these things as a positive.
What's expanding your perspective?
That's really all it's doing. And yes, like, I'm starting to understand how some other cultures think and how they perceive. But like I said, the most important thing is it's made me realize as a black person, you know, how I'm viewed, what I do, and why I should be proud to be black, you know. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Thank you guys again for tuning in. This is a conversation that will forever be in existence. You know, we're gonna drop part of this clip, I guess, on our IGTV. But
Yeah.
this is a conversation if you're listening to this after or before we post it, go to our page and check it out, and just join the conversation. I'm actually genuinely curious to hear perspectives on just where the anger comes from, you know, from black women, or black men or anybody, towards interracial relationships. Is it a care thing? Is it deeply rooted? Is it an envious thing? Like, what is your perspective? Or maybe you are one of those people that have previously been angry about certain things and changed. And how did you change, or how did your perspective change? Like, I'm interested to hear those type of things. But good convo as always. Yeah, this is great. It feels good to be back, and we rolling. So until next week, guys. We Need to Talk podcast. See you.
Peace.
Hello.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.